Today we will be completing our last lesson in Topic 11. Topic 11, Lesson 7 is all about modeling with math. Our learning intention for today is I can model my thinking to solve problems. Let's get started. Our solve and share begins on page 477. It says Val picks 40 strawberries. She shares 20 of them with her brother. How many strawberries did Val keep for herself? How can modeling your thinking help you solve the problem? Can I use a drawing, diagram, graph, or table to model this problem? How can I make my model better if it doesn't work? Let's see what we can do. There are a few different models we can choose from to solve this problem. I'm going to model this problem by drawing 4 groups of 10. I know that 4 tens will give me my total of 40. It tells us that Val picks 40 strawberries total. That means each of these boxes would have 10. If she picks 40 strawberries total, and she shares 20 of them with her brother, we want to know how many did she keep for herself. 40 in all, and 20 went to her brother. So that would be 10, 20 that went to her brother. How many are left? 10, 20. To write our equation, we would write the total number of strawberries that Val picked, which was 40. We subtracted 20 that she shared with her brother. And after we did that, Val had 20 strawberries to keep all to herself. If you used a different model to solve for this problem, that is perfectly fine. As long as we got the same equation and answer for our solve and share, then we are all good to go. Now let's watch our animated video to look for some other ways that we can model with math to solve our problems. Now let's watch our animated video to help us follow along the top of our workbook page 478.
Nate has 70 green apples. He has 30 red apples. How many more green apples does Nate have than red ones? What do you need to find? You need to find how many more green apples Nate has than red apples. What do you know? You know that Nate has 70 green apples and 30 red apples. How can you model this problem? You can use pictures, objects, and equations to show and solve this problem. Then you can decide if your model makes sense. Draw a picture and write an equation. How do the pictures help you compare how many green apples and red apples Nate has? There are 7 green tens for the 70 green apples. There are 3 red 10s for the 30 red apples. How many green boxes do not have a red box next to them? Select your answer.
There are 7 green boxes and 3 red boxes. The green and red match up until here. There are 4 green boxes that do not have a red box next to them.
There are 4 green boxes that do not have a red box next to them. So there are 4 10s, or 40 more green apples.
Let's try it. Each small green box represents 10 green apples. Each small box represents 10 red apples. Drag these boxes into the columns to model 70 green apples and 30 red apples. Here we have 10 green apples, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 green apples. Now we need 30 red apples. 10, 20, 30. Now we have 70 green apples and 30 red apples.
7 10s minus 3 10s equals 4 10s. How does this equation model the problem? Seven 10s stand for the 70 green apples that Nate has. 3 10s stand for the 30 red apples that Nate has. 4 10s stand for how many more green apples Nate has than red apples. Nate has 40 more green apples. How do you know that Nate has 40 more green apples than red apples? You know he has 40 more green apples because 4 10s is equal to 40. 70 minus 30 equals 40.
How would you choose to show this problem?
Now let's look at your guided practice still on page 478. You can use drawings, models, or equations to solve. The first one has been completed for us. Let's look and see how they did it. Number 1 says, a store has 60 muffins. It sells 30 of the muffins. How many muffins does the store have now? For this problem, they drew models. Here, we will draw 6 groups of 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 60 total. We know that they sold 30 muffins. That would be 10, 20, 30. If they sold 30 out of 60 muffins, there are 10, 20, 30 muffins left in the store now. This was just one example of how we could use a model to help us solve for the first problem. You can use a drawing, a model, or an equation to solve the next problem. Number 2 says, Andy has 84 baseball cards. He has 10 more cards than Tia has. How many cards does Tia have? I'm going to use an equation to solve for number 2. You can use any strategy you would like. If Andy has 84 baseball cards, and he has 10 more than Tia, we want to know how many does Tia have? We could take the total number of baseball cards that Andy has, subtract the 10 more that he has than Tia to find our answer. If I begin by subtracting my tens, 8 minus 1 is equal to 7. I then know that 4 minus 0 is equal to 4. If Andy has 84 baseball cards and he has 10 more than Tia, 10 less would be 74. Tia has 74 cards in all. Remember, you can use any strategy that you would like to solve for those problems. Now let's look at our independent practice on page 479. Now let's look at our independent practice on page 479. Your directions say to use drawings, models, or equations to solve. Explain your work. You will need to pause the video as you are working through this page. Let's begin with number 3. It says Viola has 80 stickers. Dean has 60 stickers. How many more stickers does Viola have than Dean? Choose whether you would like to use drawings, models, or an equation to solve. Viola has 80. Dean has 60. How many more stickers does Viola have than Dean? Solve for the problem in the space provided here, then write your answer in the blank for number 3. For number 4, it says Carla reads some pages in a book. She reads 20 pages less than Mary reads. Mary reads 50 pages. How many pages did Carla read? If Carla reads 20 pages less than Mary, and Mary reads 50 pages, how many pages did Carla read? Show your work in the space provided, then write your answer for how many pages Carla read. For number 5, our problem says a store has 72 toy cars. It sells 10 cars. How many cars does the store have left? If the store has 72 toy cars, it sells 10. We want to know how many are left. Show your work in the space provided, then write your answer in the blank for number 5. For our last page, page 480, we are problem solving. We are going to be using our dog walking story to help us solve for problem 6, 7, and 8. It says dog walking. James, Emily, and Simon walk dogs after school. On Monday, they have 40 dogs to walk. James and Emily take 20 of the dogs for a walk. How many dogs are left for Simon to walk? Number 6 says, make sense. What problem do you need to solve? Let's look back at our information. It tells us that James, Emily, and Simon have 40 dogs to walk. It says that James and Emily take 20 of the dogs for a walk. We need to find out how many are left for Simon to walk. We have to solve how many dogs are left for Simon to walk. We know that there are 40 dogs total and that James and Emily took 20 of the dogs on a walk earlier. This is the problem that we will have to solve. For number 7, it says use tools. What tool or tools can you use to solve this problem? For number 7, write what strategy you would use to solve 40 minus 20. Would you subtract the tens, then ones? Would you use a part whole chart? A hundred chart? Or another strategy to solve? For number 7, write the strategy you would use to solve 40 minus 20. For our last problem on number 8, it says model. Write an equation to show the problem. Then use pictures, words, or symbols to solve. On number 6, we wrote the beginning of our equation that we need to solve. We know we are solving for 40 minus 20. Use the strategy that you said you would use in number 7 to solve for our equation in number 8. If on number 7 you said you would use a 100 chart to help you solve, use a 100 chart and show your work below to find your answer. If you said you would use an open number line to help you solve, use an open number line to help you solve for number 8. Then write your answers in the blank to tell how many dogs Simon would have to walk. Once you have finished answering all of your questions, you will be all done with this math activity. This is our last lesson that we will be completing in topic 11 and also for the rest of the school year. We will check your answers during our math intervention time. If you have any questions before then, please let me know, and I will see you soon.